Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. My name is Tom.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
We're talking about a trend for the month of May, and maybe you're out there wandering around, commuting to work, going to school or something, and you're listening to tunes. But how are you listening to them? Are you playing the stuff out loud so everybody else on the bus can hear what you're listening to? Or are you listening on good old headphones?
Well, I'm a headphone person, which means I don't listen to things out loud. I like to listen to them using my headphones. And even if you only have one pair of headphones or one set of headphones, you need to make it plural. The reason I said I'm a headphone person or a headphones person is just I prefer that to listening to music out loud. You like stereos, though, don't you, Tom? Just to listen at home?
Yeah, of course, I like to hear music through speakers, of course. And using a traditional CD player is always nice. I don't have a turntable for old vinyl records. I'm not into that trend. I don't understand that trend. But in any case, most of us listen to our music on our phones using headphones. And today we're going to talk about wired headphones because I guess nowadays they're cool again after a certain period of time where people were wearing those wireless headphones.
Oh, they still are.
They still are in a lot of places. I guess they're quite convenient for people, but I guess it's become kind of a trend to wear those wired headphones or earbuds. It depends on what you're using, of course. Headphones cover your ears and then earbuds go inside your ears. I use earbuds myself, but yes, indeed, wired headphones are the big thing now, so let's find out what this is all about. Let's read the entire contents of our lesson one time. Everything old is new again, and this time it's a combination of technology and fashion. Forget wireless AirPods. Generation Z is opting to purchase wired headphones to connect to their mobile devices. This trend emerged after a 2019 Vogue article about American model Bella Hadid bringing back the humble wired headphone. However, only when French-American celebrity Lily Rose Depp was photographed wearing wired headphones in 2021 did the trend really catch on. Now, photos and videos of fashionable young women with wired headphones have exploded in popularity on TikTok and the Instagram account Wired It Girls. Back in 2016, cordless AirPods were all the rage when Apple first made an iPhone with no headphone jack. However, their reputation in mainstream culture has declined. This is because of their association with pretentious finance bros who are members of the technology and business elite. Wireless headphones are functional and practical, which makes them the opposite of cool. In contrast, wired headphones are a symbol of the rejection of modern trends. Wearing wired headphones signals that the user doesn't want to be bothered, while also making them look effortlessly fashionable. It's a visible accessory that declares they're tuning everything else out because they're plugged in. Wired headphones are also making a comeback due to their sound quality and ease of use. They don't have to be charged, and they never run out of batteries. Also, wired headphones tend to have better sound quality than all but the most high-end wireless headphones. You may be inspired to try out this retro trend yourself.
Okay, guys, let's get started. We are going to be talking about wired headphones becoming cool again. This is our trend unit. When you have a trend, you have a very popular activity or product that's being used by a lot of people, usually people who are in the news, celebrities or pop stars, movie stars. So people pay attention to those trends. Trends can happen in business, though, and that has nothing to do with fashion. But here's a trend that I guess I'm cool again, Tom, because I never stopped using my wired headphones, and now they're cool again. I remember, though, there was a brief period of time, of course, before COVID, when I was going to the gym. I was in the minority of people who were using wired headphones. Most people had AirPods or wireless headphones, and I felt a little bit like it was old-fashioned, but wow, I'm in fashion again.
Right, so headphones, of course, go over your ears, and you have a wire with them. Some headphones use Bluetooth, so they're wireless. And then, of course, there are Bluetooth earbuds, I believe.
You don't have to call them earbuds, though.
Yeah,
we call those headphones, too.
Anything that goes inside the ears, I call them earbuds, but earphones is the same thing. Or headphones, actually.
Yeah.
Earphones is another term you hear.
Yeah, we use that, too.
But to be specific here, we're talking about headphones that cover your ears, and then the wire goes from the headphones to your unit, which is likely your smartphone. So everything old is new again, and this time it's a combination of technology and fashion. So we see this oftentimes when new trends come around. They may be old trends beginning again. So everything old becomes new again. It becomes trendy again until something else replaces it. And this time the trend is a combination of technology and fashion. So if you're talking about headphones, of course, that has to do with technology. But if people can see them and you're making a fashion statement, we consider it also a fashion accessory.
Okay, so we're going to forget about our AirPod. Generation Z is opting or choosing. That's another word for choose. You have options. Those are choices. And to opt for something or opt to do something is a choice you make. So they're choosing to purchase wired headphones to connect to their mobile devices. I don't like the big headphones that cover your ears. I do have a pair for the plane. They're supposed to block out noise while I am able to listen to beautiful sounds. But I typically find them too big. They're too hot in Taiwan. So they are choosing or opting to purchase these wired headphones, and we're seeing them on pretty famous people. That's why people are paying attention.
Okay, and of course things have their start, and this trend emerged, or it came out, it began, after a 2019 Vogue article about American model Bella Hadid. I hope I said her name correctly. Of course, Vogue magazine is quite popular in the United States and elsewhere. It kind of sets the trends in fashion, and they had an article about her. And, of course, this article talked about bringing back the humble wired headphone. This kind of reminds me of when the iPods came out many years ago. A lot of the early advertisements for iPods featured people wearing these headphones that were wired and they were white in color. Usually the advertisements had kind of silhouettes wearing those headphones.
Yeah, so Bella, which I'm sure a lot of our listeners know about, she's a famous model, of course, Bella Hadid. She's bringing back the humble wired headphone. Humble because, well, it's not that expensive. It's a lot cheaper than buying AirPods at the time. So we just describe it as being humble, inexpensive, not too proud. So, however, it says only when French-American celebrity Lily Rose Depp was photographed wearing wired headphones in 2021 did the trend really catch on. Now, Lily Rose Depp, of course, is the daughter of Johnny Depp, the famous American actor. He married a French girl. And they were married for a long time, but now they're divorced. But they have a daughter, Lily Rose. She's young, and people follow her because she's pretty and she's a celebrity. You don't have to be a movie star or a pop star or even some sort of artist to be a celebrity. If people follow you and they know who you are famous, so you're a celebrity. She was photographed wearing wired headphones in 2021, and that's when the trend really caught on. We'll often talk about trends catching on or someone setting a trend, setting a new trend. You'll see those phrases used quite often if you're talking about things that have become popular. Of course, trends become, less popular, and so they're no longer a trend when they're out of fashion or out of style.
Right, and in this sentence, we also have this pattern, only when something did something else happen. So only when John was discovered to have stolen money from the company, did he actually get fired? For example, okay, so only when this celebrity Lily Rose Depp was photographed wearing wired headphones in 2021 did the trend really catch on. In other words, the trend began to catch on when she was photographed wearing these wired headphones just last year. Now, photos and videos of fashionable young women with wired headphones have exploded in popularity on TikTok and the Instagram account Wired It Girls.
No, Wired It Girls.
Okay,
yeah.
Thank you. I stand corrected. I don't follow those things,
well,
but I guess these are some online platforms.
No, I don't know this particular account, but when I was way back in high school, I think I did my first research paper on one of the first movie stars in history. And they started calling these ladies who were very beautiful and stylish and famous, of course, they called them the It Girl. So if you were an It Girl, you were someone that people followed for tips on fashion and style and beauty. People wanted to know about your life. So these are It Girls or famous celebrities who have, of course, followed this trend of wiring up or using wired headphones.
Okay, so there you can tell this has become a trend, and if you want to be hip and cool, maybe you should run out and get yourself a set of wired headphones yourself and sport them when you go around, and people will think you're oh so cool, and you'll have so many followers on IG and other platforms. Okay, that brings us to about the midway point in today's lesson, so let's take a break right now, but stay tuned. We'll be right back after we hear from our Chinese teacher.
大家好，我是派老师。今天讲解的是5月份5月9号 Unit5 Wired Headphones The New It Accessory。这是一篇克漏字选择的练习题，内容与耳机有关。不晓得各位听众在收听讲解的时候，是用喇叭开放式的播放，还是用耳机收听？如果是耳机，是蓝牙耳机还是有线耳机呢？如果你还觉得蓝牙耳机才是时尚流行，那你的观念可能落伍喽。我们来看看为什么有线耳机又再度受到大众青睐吧。好，我们现在一起来解题。我们先看到第一题，前文提到，请忘了无线 AirPods 吧。Z 世代现在都选择购买有线耳机 Wired Headphones 连接行动装置。接着我们看题干本身的句子。出现在2019年 Vogue 杂志发表了一篇文章，内容提到美国模特儿贝拉哈蒂德重新使用不起眼的有线耳机之后，这项趋势空格，请看4个选项 A. Tumble 倒塌 B. Blended 混合 C. Emerge 出现 D. Departed 离开。选项 C 符合前后文意，填入以后表示在 Vogue 文章发表之后，这项趋势出现了，所以第一题答案选 C emerged。 接着请看第二题，前句句型稍微特别一点，是个 only when 所引导的倒装句，只有在2021年法裔美国名人莉莉罗斯戴普被媒体拍到戴着有线耳机时，这股趋势才真正大行其道。好，第二题题干本身的句子提到，如今时尚年轻女性戴着有线耳机的照片和影片在 TikTok 还有 Instagram 账号 Wired Girls 上面空格已经大爆发。请看第二题4个选项 A. Publicity 宣传 B. Necessity 必要性 C. Curiosity 好奇心 D. Popularity 人气或欢迎程度。选项 D 符合前后文意，填入后，这个句子的意思是，如今时尚年轻女性戴着有线耳机的照片和影片，在 TikTok 还有 Instagram 账号 Wired Girls 上面大受欢迎。所以第二题答案选 D, Popularity.
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
It's time for us to continue with our lesson. Again, we're talking about a new trend with something old. headphones that are wired, and they're not wireless, they're actually wired. Again, the wire goes from the headphones to your smartphone. Maybe you might be even using an iPod if they're still around. And back in 2016, cordless AirPods were all the rage when Apple first made an iPhone with no headphone jack. Gee, has it been that long already? That's already like 6 years there. But yes, indeed, Apple comes out with new products every once in a while. And back in 2016, they came out with AirPods. They're white, they stick in your ear, but they're cordless. And therefore, the Apple phone at the time had no headphone jack. And I think people say that, yeah, it's getting more and more difficult to find smartphones with headphone jacks. Even the Android phones don't have them anymore.
Wow. Well, I'm glad I bought my new Android phone last year then, because I want that jack in my phone. I think they're trying to make you buy more and more things or force you to use the wireless headphones. I didn't want to buy the wireless AirPods because I'd read things about cancer and the waves, the electronic waves that aren't really great for your brain.
Microwaves.
I'm looking at the Wired It Girls account on Instagram, and you don't have to have the big headphones. You just have to have the wires connected to whatever you're using. It could be AirPods, buds.
Earphones.
Or really small headphones. They have some that are tiny. There's even a picture of Al Pacino, who isn't really a girl, walking down the street using wired headphones. So, yeah, you might want to check that out. So, back in 2016, cordless AirPods or wireless AirPods made by Apple were all the rage. All the rage is a phrase you'll often see when you're talking about a trend or something that's popular for a moment. It could be popular for a whole year. Sometimes trends last. But if you were all the rage or something was all the rage, it was very popular. This happened when Apple first made an iPhone with no headphone jack. Oh, they forced their customers to buy their AirPods. That's a good way, I guess, if you're a company. You can force people to buy something because you no longer support something. Well, it says here their reputation in mainstream culture has declined. Apple has not been quite as successful in the last couple of years with the younger generation.
Indeed, so their reputation has declined. Reputation, of course, is how trusted you are, how people think about you in society. If you're a nice person and you help other people all the time and you're friendly, then you have a good reputation. But if you're mean and you beat people up all the time and you're a bully, then you have a bad reputation. And in this particular case, we're talking about their reputation in mainstream culture. Mainstream just means popular culture all around the world in society. This is because of their association with pretentious finance bros who are members of the technology and business elite. So these AirPods have an association or a connection to these finance bros, which I think is finance brothers, people who work in companies that make tons of money, and they're kind of pretentious. They're walking around with these AirPods in their ears, talking really loudly to themselves, and we're supposed to be impressed that they're making big, hotshot business deals and stuff like that, and therefore they have a bad reputation as being kind of pretentious. Who do they think they are?
It's not just their pretentiousness, it's the fact that they're trying to control speech these days. These finance bros are people that have a lot of money in technology and business. These big corporations are telling you what you can think and how to think. And even the younger generation is getting tired of it. So wireless headphones are functional. They work as they're supposed to. They're practical. And they are practical, which makes them the opposite of cool. Sometimes these trends start out by just a subsection of people going, I don't want to do that. I'm rebelling. And so what they choose to do becomes kind of cool and hip because not everyone is doing it. So that's what they're doing. In contrast to the wireless headphones, wired headphones are a symbol of the rejection of modern trends. That's what a lot of trends start out as a rejection of something else. So if you reject something, you say no to it. I don't want it. Reject is the verb form. Rejection, of course, is the noun. And sometimes when Tom and I were growing up, we would sometimes hear kids say, oh, he's a reject. You know, he's a reject or she's a reject. It's kind of a mean term to put on people who you dismiss or who you don't think are cool enough. He's a reject.
And wearing wired headphones signals that the user doesn't want to be bothered, while also making them look effortlessly fashionable. So if you wear wired headphones, people will notice it more, and it tells other people or it signals other people that the user doesn't want to be bothered. Boy, this reminds me of the 80s when the Walkmans first came out, but I think most of you were probably born much after that.
Much later, yeah.
But yeah, we did wear headphones back then to tell other people to leave us alone. We're listening to our tunes. We're listening to Aerosmith and Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin and bands like that. And also, if you wear headphones like that and people can see the wires, you look pretty chic. You look fashionable and it's effortless, which means you don't really have to do anything. You just walk around with these headphones in and people think you're oh so cool.
Well, that's not very hard, is it? Just to walk around with headphones. So it's a visible accessory. An accessory is something you add to your outfit. It could be maybe some earrings, a necklace, a hat, a nice-looking belt. Those are fashion accessories, but there are also accessories that come along with different devices. For example, you might... like me, be wanting to buy a sewing machine, and they have accessories that you can buy separately. They're not necessary to actually sew something, but you might want to make something special and are looking for a specific kind of needle or foot that we use on sewing machines. So they're accessories to lots of different products. It's just something that makes the original product work even better or even cooler, but it isn't necessary to have it function correctly.
And this visible accessory declares that those people are tuning everything else out because they're plugged in. So here we've got the verb phrase to tune out, which means basically you ignore everybody because you're doing something else. Hey, I'm tuning out. I'm not going to pay any attention to you. I've got my earphones in and I'm in my own world. Leave me alone.
Right. If you're plugged in, it could be literally plugged in where you take something and put it into a jack. But we use this as slang, too. If someone's plugged in, they know what's going on in the world. They know what's going on locally, internationally. Maybe they're plugged into celebrity gossip. You can be plugged into a lot of things. So moving on to the final paragraph, it says wired headphones are also making a comeback due to their sound quality and ease of use. That was my whole point. I did buy a pair of wireless headphones or earbuds. I didn't like the sound quality. I preferred the sound I got out of the headphones I had that had a jack, that had wires connected to them, so I went back. So if you make a comeback, it means you haven't been popular for a while, but then you do something new and people like you again. I guess a movie star that had a big comeback was...
Oh, Saturday Night Fever, John Travolta.
John Travolta. Oh, he was so out of fashion for quite a while, and then he made pulp fiction, and he became popular again. So you can make a come back after being unsuccessful. Companies can. Apple was unsuccessful for a while, and then rehired Steve Jobs, and they had a comeback.
Right, so of course people like them not only because they're fashionable, but they're convenient. They don't have to be charged. They never run out of batteries. They sound good. And here it says also wired headphones tend to have better sound quality than all but the most high-end wireless headphones. Yeah, you can have good quality if you buy expensive wireless headphones. They're high-end, maybe made by Sennheiser or somebody like that, and they're going to cost you a fortune, but that might be a fashion statement as well. But you may be inspired to try out this new retro trend yourself. I already do this. I prefer wired headphones myself, although I tend not to like it when you move in a certain way and your arm kind of jerks the wire out of your ear. I don't like that, so you have to be careful with that wire because it might tug on your ear. But if you're careful, hey, you can have some great sound and listen to some good tunes.
Now, if you're inspired to try this out, inspired is one of our vocab words. It just means something gives you an idea idea, a creative idea. It could be a song, a poem, a friend. Lots of people are inspired to do different things, or they get some inspiration to try something. Inspiration is the noun form. So you might want to try out this retro trend yourself. Retro just means a trend that is old. It's been around for a long time, went out of style, but is coming back again. So I'm sure some of our listeners have already caught on to this and are already using wired headphones or wired earbuds.
Yeah, like vinyl records are a retro trend as well. Well, that brings us to the end of our explanation for today. Let's listen now to somebody who is very hip, our Chinese teacher.
从第二段我们得知苹果的 iPhone 原本是有耳机孔的，后来在新推出的 iPhone 决定取消。此后，无线蓝牙耳机 AirPods 风靡一时 ，Cordless AirPods were all the rage。那是什么原因让蓝牙耳机在主流文化的声势江河日下呢？因为大家看到蓝牙耳机会联想到装模作样的 Finance Bros， 也就是华尔街的金融兄弟，他们是科技业和商业精英。接着，我们看到第三题题干。无线耳机兼具功能性和实用性，空格，它们与时髦相反。这一题考文意，同时也考文法。答案选 A which makes， 其中冠带 which 代替前面主要子句整句的文意，也就是无线耳机功能强大又实用这件事，反而让蓝牙耳机一点都不时髦。这在文法上我们称作补数用法 which 前面必须要有逗点，请注意 that 当关系代名词的时候是不能有逗点，先行词只可以是名词，不可以是子句，也不可以作为补数用法。第三题的答案选 A。 再来我们解第四题。前文提到相较之下，有线耳机是拒绝现代趋势的象征，佩戴有线耳机表明用户不想受到打扰，同时也使他们不需额外装扮，看起来就非常时尚。而第四句的题干说到它是一个空格什么样的配件，表明了他们不会理会其他事物，因为他们正戴着耳机。请看第四题的4个选项 A massive 庞大的， B visible 显眼的， C fragile脆弱的， D coarse 粗糙的。选项 B 符合前后文意，填入以后，这个句子的意思是有线耳机是显而易见的配件，对外宣告使用者不打算理会其他任何事物，因为他们都戴着耳机。所以第四题的答案选 B visible。 接着请看到第三段，有线耳机也因为音质好、使用便利而重新获得大众青睐。随后请看第5题，它们不必充电，也永远不会空格电池。请看第5题的4个选项 A run out of 是用完的意思， B clear out 是清除， C take down 是拿下， D put up with 是忍受。第5题答案根据前后文选 A run out of batteries 表示电池电力耗尽。这句话的意思是有线耳机不必充电，也永远不会没电。好，以上就是我们针对这篇克漏字测验所做的中文讲解，谢谢大家。
That brings us to the end of our lesson for today. Thanks again for joining us. And hey, you might actually be listening to our program through your wired headphones. How cool is that?
Yeah.
From all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
Bye.